67, I'm starting from bottom of the page 67, towards the end of the page. I read that portion of this paragraph, last portion, describing the different aspects of the Supreme, not just the universal, not just the transcendent, but the individual Godhead. The individual Godhead is within us. Then why should we not manifest that divinity within us? That is the central theme in the Yoga of Sri Aurobindo. He has plunged into matter, he has plunged into a world of ignorance and darkness. The absolute, the perfect, the immune, one who is in us as our secret self. He is immune to what? To the surroundings of ignorance and unconsciousness and all that is imperfect. It is into this world of imperfection that he has plunged. He has brought his light into the darkness. This is the involution of the divine, which is why the manifestation of light in the darkness is an obvious possibility, because he is already there. The absolute, the perfect, the immune, one who is in us as our secret self. We are essentially divine. He hides within us, but we relate only to our surface nature. This is the outward mortal who is a being made of all kinds of different elements, different substances, different levels of consciousness, the body, the life, the mind, each with its own problems, each with its own character. But inside it is he who is there. And why is he waiting for us to be able to manifest him? Because we have to get rid of all the outer layers of darkness and inconscience. That is the yoga of transformation. That is the play, that is the game, or it is a battle, or it's a struggle, whatever you want to call it. But it is from what we essentially are. We have to become, manifest outwardly that truth. That truth that is we are divine. Outwardly we are not. We have covered our nature with all kinds of other things. There is the mental, there is the vital, there is the physical, there is the ego, there is the impurity. All of these come in the way. But he is waiting inside. We have to remove all those layers. And that is why our outer being is like a shabby, broken down house. He has made this tenement of flesh his own. He has accepted to come into this world. He doesn't stay above saying this world doesn't deserve me. Man is not worthy of the divine presence, you were asking. Nobody is worthy of the divine. The divine has made himself available by coming within us. We don't have to go far to look for him. And this outer being, which is so imperfect, it is his house. And that is why, if you can remember Sri Aurobindo saying in the book The Mother, we have to keep the temple clean in order to manifest the divine presence. We are temples. The divine is living inside us. The temple is the house of God. We are houses of God. You want to say Matri Mandir? Yes. We are all Matri Mandirs. We are temples of the Divine Mother. But who thinks the temple is outside? The temple is a structure, the temple is inside. It's a presence, it's a consciousness. He has made this tenement of flesh his own, his image in the human measure cast. Because in the temple there is an image, usually. That image is the image of divinity. For a long time, that image resembles a human being. You have a face of a god. He has accepted that. I will come into the world of stone. I will come into the world of metal. And in that, he's cast like a bronze statue. That bronze, that metal, will begin to radiate that inner presence. That is the whole thing. It's a question of from within to radiate that consciousness. But first we have to realize it is there. Then we have to relate to it. We have to connect with it. Our mask of imperfection has assumed. He has made this tenement of flesh his own. His image in the human measure cast, not remaining something so great, so splendid that we are terrified. You say, God is too high for me, too great for me, I'm too small, I'm not worthy of Him. No, He's very near, He's my parent. I am born from Him, I am made out of him or her. You can come very close. This is the divine love. We exist because of this love, this grace that makes us survive. We wouldn't be there without that. When we first have to believe this, we have to work on this, realize this, that our outer humanity has to become transparent and allow the inner divinity slowly to emerge. For that we have to naturally pass through different stages of purification, of change, of first acceptance that it is possible, then make the attempt to make it possible, make it happen. When that happens, slowly, even if I am far from it, if I believe I can, if I say I am the mother's child, we sometimes say that, but sometimes we don't realize, if I am the mother's child, why am I like this? Why don't I resemble her a little? In her nature, in her behavior, in her consciousness, in her light, why am I devoid of all those things? If I realize it, then I start working on myself. We have been given this enormous opportunity, this chance. Darkness is an opportunity for us to grow out of this ignorance. Because we fail, because we fall, we realize I have to come out of this. That is the great opportunity. And when that is done, the Maker shall recast us using the image of the bronze statue. Not made of bronze, not made of lead, but made of gold. Gold is symbolizing the supreme, the highest, that which does not tarnish, that which does not diminish. We are not beings who slowly enter into a state of degradation, but a continuous, you might say, expression of the Supreme. Constantly expressing in every act, every thought, every movement. The Maker shall recast us and impose a plan of Godhead on the mortal mold. The two are often used as opposites. The mortal is not God. God is not mortal. No. The mortal has to be built. The plan has to be first made. Like before you build a house, you make a plan. That plan has to be a manifestation of an ideal. The divine architect has worked on it. We have to embody that. Not just read, not just think, not just feel, but to embody it. Embody in the cells, in the very nature of our flesh and bone, in the human embodiment is divinity. Matter is divine. The divine possibilities don't have to remain latent, they have to come out into the open. So that lifting our finite minds to His infinite, lifting our finite minds to His infinite mind, so that from the small we can rise to the great, touching the moment with eternity. We are momentary beings, temporary beings. We become embodiments of the divine, then we are eternal beings. Death is perhaps a reason why death comes. it makes us aware that somehow this is coming in the way. My continuous growth towards the light is being obstructed. When I realize there is an obstruction, I have to remove the obstruction. When I don't realize it, I think it is normal, it is natural. This is how things are. I'm a mortal. I'm not meant to be immortal. This is what he's saying. You are meant to be immortal. You are not meant to die. But we have accepted this, our imperfection, as normal. As long as this lasts, the change cannot come. This is the transfiguration. This transfiguration from the mortal to the eternal, to the immortal, this transfiguration, it's just changing. Transfiguration is not exactly the same as transformation. Transfiguration is to raise the lesser into the greater, because the greater is hidden in the lesser. To become more perfect, more beautiful, that manifestation of perfection and beauty is already there in the imperfect. This is earth's due to heaven. Between earth and heaven, there is a very close bond. He has made earth. Earth has to make heaven. There is a phrase in the ancient Vedic text. We are sons of the sky by the body of the earth. The earth is our mother. The sky is our father. That is to say, we come from the heights, but we are born out of the depths. And the two are not opposites. They are, you might say, consorts. They go together. In all ancient traditions, like I think in the Greek tradition, you have the notion of Uranus and Gaia. Uranus is sky, Gaia is earth. And they were married to each other. And the whole universe is actually the result of this, sky and earth. Mortal and immortal, eternal and material, spirit and matter are not opposites. So this transfiguration is earth's due to heaven, a mutual debt. That is interesting. We have a debt to the divine. The divine has a debt towards us. That is something that can make us think, why? What? He has done so much for us. How much we have to do to make up for that? Binds man to the supreme, but he has also taken the trouble of coming down. He has taken the trouble of coming into the darkness, because then only can darkness manifest the hidden light. So it's a debt that works both ways. He has come down to us, we have to go up to him. Because actually the distance between the two doesn't exist. He is us, we are him, essentially. A mutual debt binds man to the supreme. His nature we must put on, as he put ours. He puts on mortality. The mortal is the divine who is wearing a robe of darkness. Then why does the ordinary human being not learn to put on the robe of light? Remove all the robes of darkness. And this was something that the ancient mystics had seen very often. The earlier avatars, the image of the avatar is often symbols of, say, a boar or a half lion, or even Krishna, who is represented to us as full of naughtiness at a certain time. He does things you would not approve of, isn't it? He stole, he cheated, but at the same time he is the supreme. If he can become as small as us, then why can't we become as large as him, as universal as him? His nature we must put on as he put ours. We are sons of God and must be even as he. Essentially, the mortal is not something who cannot embody the divine. This is something that religion does not accept. You can worship the divine. You be devoted to the divine, but don't think you are divine. All the ancient schools tell us that. Sri Aurobindo says, no, this is the transfiguration. Essentially, you are divine. What is hidden, you have to bring out, manifest that. We are his human portion. Because the human is also part of him. There is nothing that is not part of him. Darkness is part of him. What we call evil also is part of him. It's all his creation. There is nothing that is not him. His human portion. We must grow divine. That is because the whole play of manifestation is change. Manifestation is change, is growth. We have to grow. We don't say we are like this. We are whatever we are now, but we are not supposed to stay like that. What we are now is a starting point of what we can become later. So, the emphasis in Sri Aurobindo and the mother is become. Try to become what you worship. Not just worship, not just love, adore. There's a very lovely, simple sentence in, I think it is in one of Sri Aurobindo's plays, The Perseus the Deliverer, that you worship, adore, and what you adore, attempt to be. What you adore, attempt to be. If you adore the Supreme, try to become the divine. Because often we have the notion that if I worship, I do pranam, I have devotion, I go to the samadhi, I touch my head to the samadhi and feel that I have paid my tax to the divine. That is not enough. He has come down into that samadhi, then why am I not capable of recognizing his presence? I have to attempt to be. It is a becoming. This is yoga. Yoga is joining. I join myself to him because inside me is him. Our life is a paradox with God for key. Otherwise, it's a paradox. Paradox is like contradiction. Every paradox is a contradiction. But it is not a contradiction. Essentially, a paradox is only a contradiction in appearance. There is a clue, it's like a riddle. If you find the clue, then you say, no, it opens up a new vista of truth and knowledge. All paradoxes are like that. You open a new level of comprehension. And anything. Sri Aurobindo has written lots of paradoxes. Like he says, reason is the helper, reason is the bar. Ego is the helper, ego is the bar. For a while, all these have helped us to reach a certain state. Don't cling to that, move on. After you have achieved something, taken the trouble to develop something, throw it away and move ahead. But meanwhile, until that is done, all is a shadow cast by a dream. That is to say, the sense of illusion. If we have not recognized that in the world of matter there is spirit, then matter is illusory. It's just a projection of a concept by the divine, a creation. So what is all this for? This world, this earth, this life, human beings or trees or animals, if they do not really manifest, embody something that is of a divine origin, then they might as well go. Earth has accepted this for a long time. Until we realize it, Earth did not realize it in the beginning. There was a pralaya. As long as you keep yourself cut off from the divine, the earth will have to go. Otherwise, the divine cannot manifest himself in the world. Because we are not, that's why the divine does not manifest. They say divine stays up above, in the Brahman, in the Supreme. He doesn't find that the lower creation is worthy of him. This lower creation will not last. because it is not aware that this lower creation is also him. The day that perception comes, the whole play changes. We are sons of God. We are potentially divine, essentially divine. Existentially, we are not. Outwardly, we are not.
Slowly we grow into her.
You have to make it happen. You won't grow, it won't happen by itself. He's given you a chance, but this is your part, this is the debt. He won't do your work for you. He has given you this chance, he has entered into you. Slowly, your outer being has been allowed the chance to alter itself and become an expression of the divine. You don't take the chance, it is a wasted life. We have wasted many lives. You say, we have come here just to be human beings and then die. What do you want your son to be? I want him to be a good human being. There are many parents who say that. Nobody says, I want him to be a divine being. I don't want him to remain a human being. That is the difficult part. What is a human being? Who is a human being? A person with a head and a torso and 2 legs and 2 arms, who has an intelligence, a certain amount of intelligence to make money or to have a certain position in the world. As long as that is it, it's a shadow. It's a dream. It will come, it will go. Unless you connect with the original truth, there is no value to anything. If we don't feel that connection with the source of all truth, which is He, which is the divine, all is a shadow. But the shadow always is a projection from a hidden light. It's a source of light. It is as if the divine had a dream. Mother also had a dream. She spoke of a dream of creating a new world in this world of matter. You speak of the ashram, you speak of Auroville. What are they? Projections of mother's dream. To manifest in existence, in action, in form, in matter, in work, that presence. Not sit quietly under a tree and meditate. Not cut yourself off from everything and withdraw into a certain inner silence. But as long as that is not experienced, life is pointless. We turn around in circles, and like the earth outwardly seems to keep on turning around in circles around the sun, she doesn't dare to touch the sun. She doesn't go too close. She'd burn up. This is our mentality. I don't want to go too near the divine. I don't want to go too close to the divine, because then once I am touched, I can't come back. That is what people used to say in the olden days. Don't go to the ashram. People who go there don't come back. Because they have seen the divine. They are terrified. Somewhere there is a fear. You will no longer be yourself. You will belong to the divine. As if our self is a different entity. It's a different being. Our self is He. But to accept that is difficult. The ego is so strong. Ignorance is such a, we might say, rock-hard barrier. It's very difficult. But meanwhile, all is a shadow cast by a dream. And to the musing and immobile spirit, only the spirit, those who meditate, concentrate within their inner nature, at the bottom of their heart, they can find a presence, they can find a connection with the divine presence in the heart. And this, who does it, or those who do their yoga of knowledge by concentrating between the brows or concentrating at the heart, they say this is a moving away from the world of activity. Sit in silence, find the divine, then you have a feeling that life is a myth. Myth in the sense is not true. Life is meant for death. Life is not meant for anything. That was the concept. This is the concept of Shankara. This is the concept of the Buddha. Ancients. This world is transitory. It is not going to last. This is the ancient school of Vedanta. The old yogas were like this. whatever school of yoga you're following, this is this idea that this world we have to leave it behind and enter into another state. There's a legend. Huh? Yes, this is Advaita. Or you might say, for instance, there was this story of the Buddha was doing his meditation under the bo tree. He had withdrawn from everything, from all action. He had starved himself completely, and he had reached that state of nirvana. Nirvana is extinction. Nirvana means extinction. Everything had come to a state where there was no external reality, only that supreme, absolute, transcendent, that only exists, nothing else exists. So at that time, there was a girl, a young woman, who came to him crying. She fell at his feet and said, Master, Master, you have done so much yoga, can you help me? He said, what do you want? He said, I had a baby, and this baby has died. Can you give him back his life? He said, yes. Only you first go to the town or the village and go from house to house. Just bring me 1 grain of rice from any house where nobody has died. And if you can get me that, then she had that. Death is the normal state. Every house had faced death. There is nowhere on earth as it is today that death has not come. So death is the norm. It's not the exception. So then she understands that we should not be attached to this external life. The truth is that far beyond this earthly body. But then Sri Aurobindo has moved on from there. This earthly body also is the basis for a new manifestation. It is not that we have to go back to the old and get back the old form. Why does the body die? The body dies because in the body there is the element, each cell of the body, there is the element of inconscience, ignorance, darkness, error. This will inevitably drag it down. That is the whole thing. It is not that you have to give up the body. You have to give up the ignorance. You have to give up the inconscience. You have to work on yourself, cell by cell. It's an enormous task. Mother had started doing that. In every particle of matter there is darkness. In every particle of matter there is light. Light is hidden beneath the darkness. Remove the darkness. It's very slow. And that is why this cannot be attempted by man alone. The avatar has to come. He has to do it first. He has to show the way. This is the method. You do this. So Mother made that sacrifice. This is the Holocaust of the Divine. She made the sacrifice. I will enter into this body. That is why Sri Aurobindo told Mother, you have to do it. Because she wanted to leave 1 year before when Sri Aurobindo said, I'm going to withdraw. He said, no. Your body is the more enduring. The victory is to the most enduring. Whoever is most enduring, even that person. And so the yoga of the supramental is always in the world of body and matter. A foundation, opposition between matter and spirit has to go. Otherwise this notion will forever remain, that we have to give up one in order to find the other. Life otherwise seems pointless, meaningless, a myth, maya, illusion, the burden of a long, unmeaning tale. He uses the word burden in the old-fashioned English way. Burden is not a weight which hurts. It is what you carry, you bear. So the meaning, significance, every word not only has a meaning but has a significance. It conveys a significance. That is why in the old, say if you read Milton, he gives a summary of his Paradise Lost in each canto. He has written also an epic, one of the great epics of English. And there he writes burden. It was spelt burden, B-U-R-T-H-E-N, not D, but it means he gives a summary of this is the significance of what I'm telling. Because epics are all symbolic. All epics are symbolic, they are not stories. Symbolic means it signifies something more than what is said. Everything actually, all is symbol. Life is a symbol. Man is a symbol. Everything stands for something other, something more than what it is on the outside. So, the burden of a long, unmeaning tale. It makes no sense. For the key is hid and by the inconscient kept. Here is the secret. It is in the very heart of darkness, in the very heart of ignorance, that the supreme light is there. So it is again and again repeated by Sri Aurobindo. Dig deeper, deeper yet, till thou reach the grim foundation stone and knock at the keenest gate. You have to knock at the keyless gate. The key is hidden beneath. There is no solution which is outwardly easy. The secret God, big capital G, lives beneath the threshold, in the deepest darkness, in the darkest darkness, because there are levels of darkness. Like there are stories about hell has 9 circles and heaven has 9 circles. But the lowest circle, the deepest darkness, is where the divine is waiting to be brought out of. It is not a simple solution. It is not to have a little more light, a little more wisdom, a little more capacity, a little more strength. This you call civilization. This you call progress. I've learnt a little more. I've become a little better. But that is just a kind of an outer show. I have found the secret of existence. This was the question, if you answer read the Upanishads, the question of Nachiketas. He wanted to know. And who was the one who was given as his guide? Yama. Death. Go there. You will find the answer there. The opposition does not really exist. The ancients knew it. These were the mysteries of the past. They are not mental, moral stories. In a body obscuring the immortal spirit, the outer form of matter is an obscuring body, a nameless resident vesting unseen powers with matter's shape. Somebody is living inside that body. He resides. He lives there. Vesting unseen powers. The unknown God wearing unseen powers with matter's shapes and motives beyond thought. In the world of matter, the world of shape and form, that resident is there. The constant controlling factor is there. And the hazard of an unguessed consequence. He is giving us the image of a resident, not only one who lives, but I don't know if you know something about the British Raj. In India, when we were under the so-called British Raj, there were more than 700, princely states. These princely states, small and big states, were like Baroda, where Sri Aurobindo was. Officially they were independent of the British state. But in each of them, the British insisted that there should be a resident. A resident. One who is a British official, who is there representing the British interests. so that you don't go against the surrounding areas are British. Don't go against their interests. So he is playing with that, because that resident was actually controlling from within. You can't make a railway line here because it will disturb, and so on and so forth. At every step, it was very, very like diplomatic politics is always full of falsehood and twists and turns and all kinds of things. Here he is using the image of the resident. There is also the other side, there is the divine resident. He is controlling. The resident was not part of the British Empire in the British period, in the British Raj, but he was actually controlling that princely state without seeming to. In us also there is this presence. He is controlling our universal existence without seeming to. A nameless resident, wearing unseen powers, which matter's shape and motives beyond thought. Not just to help, motives beyond thought, the unthinkable, to do that which is, that matter is not cut off from the spirit. Matter is a form of the spirit. And therefore, the world that separates the world of man and God, matter and spirit, is just some kind of a convenience that we obey because we are too lazy to understand that matter is also divine. We have to transform. To say my body is divine, as it is not. It is absolutely far from true. But the possibility of the divine is there everywhere. It has to be brought out into the open. So it is a very hazardous game of an unguessed consequence. Consequence is what will happen afterwards as a consequence. An omnipotent, indiscernible influence, just like that British resident, the divine resident here. He can't be seen, but he's an almighty power controlling the whole thing from within, pulling all the reins from within. He sits unfelt by the form in which he lives. The soul, the spirit sits inside us. The form does not feel the soul and veils his knowledge by the groping mind. Mind is our instrument of knowledge, but mind is never sure of itself. It divides everything into parts of light and darkness, opposites of true and false. All this is there. He is beyond these oppositions. There is only light, only truth. The opposites are not actually the fundamental reality. But the mind likes to break up things into small particles, small compartments. It's easier to deal with small parts of the truth. Okay.